baby, Leo began as a menace. Oh, guys, I just finished watching episodes 4 and 5 of Love is Blind season 7. You already know the drill. We gotta talk about it. So, last we left off, right? Leo finds out that Nick has told Hannah that he is in love with her, and so now Hannah is kind of going more towards Nick instead of kind of staying the course with Leo, because Leo is playing these reindeer games with both Brittany and Hannah, kind of stringing them both along to see which one. It's almost like, you know, which one is going to last the longest in this waiting game, because he doesn't know. Okay, he doesn't know who he's gonna pick. He don't know. One day it's Brittany, one day it's Hannah, one day it's both. Like, he wants to have his cake and eat it too. He don't know. But when he finds out that Hannah is starting to stray away from him, he crashes out. There's no other way to say it. He crashes out. Guys, he gaslights the mess out of this girl and makes her feel bad because somebody else confessed their love for her, and now she is rightfully so going towards the connection that is making it clear, whether genuine or not, making it clear that he is interested in her for the long haul. He wants her for the year, not just the week like Leo is doing her. Okay, Leo can give her any reassurances. Nick is. So rightfully so, she's going towards Nick. But Leo said absolutely not. Absolutely not. What do you mean? Leo starts spiraling and crashing out and just goes in on this rant and guts her like a fish. He wasn't letting up. He wasn't letting Hannah breathe. He wasn't letting her get a word in. He really sat there and said, is he the best person for you, or is he just the one that said I love you first? And before she can recover from that blow, he said, because if all it is because he said I love you first, and that's the reason you're gonna get married? That's the reason you're gonna get married to this man? Like, and he said some other stuff. Like, he's just going in and in and in on this girl. And Hannah starts bawling. Like, her back is up against the wall. She cannot breathe. And she said, you know what? I can't take this anymore. And she leaves, rightfully so, because Leo got on her head and did not let up. And I said, child, it was wrong. It was wrong as mess. But when he was going in, talking about, you know, if he had said I love you first instead of Nick, would they be in a different space? And Hannah said, I don't know. Like, I said, child, too many red flags. What did I say? Too many red flags. Not enough communication. Because there are ways to handle something like that, and I believe it was the season with Milton that handled that really, really well. And so, like, we've seen examples of people who handle information like that well, and Leo is an example of people who do not. Leo is an example of, as long as the experiment is working for me, that's fine, but it should not be working for you. Like, I should be your one and only. That was the energy that he was giving off. I should be your one and only, regardless of if you are mine. I said, babes, please. And then Alex and Tim are actually really cute. Like, they are probably one of, like, my top couples because of the way that they communicate and, like, the way that they kind of, like, hold space for each other. I said, you know, we may not be completely, you know, hopeless on this season. You know, famous last words, but I'm just saying. You know, and then Steven proposes, Monica accepts. Steven has his whole little speech, but like I said, he's giving me the ick. And I don't know, I just felt like they needed to have a couple more conversations or something. Maybe they did off camera, I don't know. You know, we'll never know. But, you know, they're engaged now, and I just, no. And then, you know, we cut to Marissa, and she's going on dates, you know, Bowden and Ramses. I'm only really invested in the dates between her and Ramses because I feel like those two have better chemistry together than her and Bowden. So, you know, she's talking to Ramses, and this is when I got my first inkling that something about Marissa was off. When she asked him, you know, does he like Adam Sandler or Will Ferrell better? And he said, you know, I've seen a lot more of the Will Ferrell movies, you know, like the old stuff, like Elf, stuff like that. And she said, ew, Adam Sandler is better because Will Ferrell has lowbrow humor. She fixed her mouth to have the audacity to say that Will Ferrell, compared to Adam Sandler, has lowbrow humor. Guys, now I'm not gonna lie, I'm a fan of both of these men. Not so much Adam Sandler anymore because I haven't seen a lot of his more recent stuff. And like I've seen Will Ferrell in like commercials and stuff, you know, but they both have lowbrow humor. So what are you talking about? A lot of Adam Sandler movies. Now I'm a fan. This is not me being a hater. I'm just saying, guys, let's be for real. Let's be for real. Adam Sandler's movies were not highbrow. Adam Sandler's movies were not, you know, above taking the low-hanging fruit in terms of humor. Like, especially a lot of his movies, the humor was like, you know, somebody falling down a hill or getting kicked or like falling or, you know, some kind of like situational comedy. And that's easy. Like, yes, it does still take, you know, skill to pull off. You gotta get the comedic timing right and everything like that. That's why I said I'm not being a hater. Like, their humor is similar. It's not the same, but in terms of the target audiences and stuff, and like the humor that they refer to, and you know, like fart jokes and stuff like that, like it's similar. It's similar. Like, let's not pretend that Adam Sandler is more than he is. Especially just thinking about like the latest movie of his that I saw that I can remember is Pixels. And a lot of that humor was like, you know, people being bad at their jobs but still being like the president, or like being bad at their jobs but they're still like head of security or like the head military person, you know, or somebody getting with like women who are way out of their league, and like joking about that. So like it was very like low-hanging fruit. The movie was funny, the movie was enjoyable. I'm not hating. Pixels is my comfort movie, but I'm just saying. And then you compare that to Will Ferrell's movies, which my favorite Will Ferrell movie is Elf. A lot of situational humor, a lot of like getting yourself into situations that you could have avoided if you just had some common sense. Like it's similar. Okay, I'm gonna let it go. I was just, and then she was hating. Both of them really were hating on Elf, and that's when I said, throw a flag on the play. Absolutely not. When she was like, you know, you probably like an Elf, and he was like, nah, I don't get the hype. Just say you hate Christmas and move on. Period. But then, you know, Marissa has some decision making to do. She decides to end it with Bowden, which it wasn't funny. The editors were diabolical for this because Bowden, before she ends it, Bowden was like, you know, I'm interested in a girl and I'm just really lucky that she's really into me, and like, you know, I can really see us going forward with this. And you know, in the next clip we see Marissa telling him basically that like her connection with Ramses is just stronger, so she's ending it with him. Diabolical on the editor's part. Diabolical. Also, the songs, whoever is making like the playlist for Love is Blind, give them their 10s, because the songs always fit. The songs just make the scene that much more messy. Okay. Oh my goodness, like the songs be furthering the plot for sure. And then we cut back to Steven and Marissa's reveal. It's a decent reveal. Quite honestly, like, it's clear that they're attracted to each other. I think that was kind of sort of the vibe that I got. But I didn't like, because, you know, everybody else, when they had their reveals, they were asking, you know, the woman again. They were basically re-proposing, you know, and then sliding the finger on the ring, or sliding the ring on the finger. Steven just kind of slid that finger. It was almost like a here you go, and then gave her his shirt. What was that? And I asked again, what are we doing here? What is the romance in the room with us? Oh, Lord have mercy. Mercer Ramsey's cute. Hannah and Nick get engaged, which I'm kind of iffy on that, because again, I just feel like their relationship is surface level, but a lot of these people's are, so you know, I can't hold that against one and not hold it against the rest of them. Tim and Alex reveal was cute. Tim, when he was walking and he was like, you know, I knew she was gonna be fine. I knew she was gonna be fine. I was like, that's real. That's real. And then like, Alex didn't say much. We find out later it's because she wears glasses, or she used to wear glasses. She doesn't wear them anymore. She still needs to, very much so, but she couldn't see him, so she didn't say anything till she got right up on him, and that's why. And I said, girl, that's real. That's real, because I wear glasses and contacts, and so like depending on how far somebody is away from me, I may be like squinting or just not see them entirely. Like it, you know, I felt that as a fellow glasses wearer. Leo and Brittany end up getting engaged. Leo, I don't like him much either, because after he crashes out on Hannah, they end up going back, or coming back and talking, and you know, Leo apologizes for going off on Hannah, and Hannah's like, you know, okay, whatever. And then I think Hannah tries to end it, and Leo says, yeah, that's perfectly fine, because Brittany was always my number one anyway. And Hannah's face when he said that was my face, because again, why are we wasting people's time? You can't see these people. We don't have that much time to begin with. Why are you wasting? Because she was like, that's not how it sounded when you were literally crashing out on me. You literally gave me a whole monologue on why I'm making a bad decision, leaning more towards Nick. Now today you're telling me that Brittany is your number one and Nick is the best for me. And honestly, his whole speech was passive aggressive. It was giving passive aggressive. And then when he had the gall, the audacity to ask her to talk to Brittany on his behalf, absolutely not. Absolutely not. But you know, they leave the pods, they go back to their quarters, and Hannah tells Brittany, because she told Brittany, you know, I think it was the last episode, maybe episode 4, when he crashed out on her, and she told him, she gave Brittany a synopsis basically on what he was saying, and Brittany was like, well, what the actual heck, because it's giving a red flag once again. And so, you know, Hannah goes back and she gives the update on how that situation went, and Brittany's like, you know, thank you for telling me. And so she goes into the pods with Leo, and first she says, oh, how the tables have turned, and I'm thinking she about to light this man up. I'm thinking she about to get her get back, because you playing in both of our faces now. And Brittany whips out this long letter, I mean front to back, long letter in pink. And of course we don't get to hear the whole letter, which I understand. That would have been long. That would have been a lot, because I mean, she wrote a lot. But after she does this letter, and the way that it's, you know, cut together makes it seem like she about to give Leo the boot, but she doesn't. She finishes her little segment of the letter that, you know, we get to see, and then her and Leo talk some more, and then Leo proposes, to the surprise of no one, because he crashed out on Hannah, but to the surprise of Brittany and us, because the way that he proposes to her in that moment, it wasn't giving proposal. So nobody but Leo realized that he was proposing until he said the words, will you marry me? Because then she stood up, she said, oh yeah, I did not realize that you were proposing. And he said, you know, I'll propose to you for real tomorrow during the reveal. But I was just like, that again, Is the romance in the room with us? I don't think so. I don't think so. So then we cut to the reveal. Oh no. Then we cut to Marissa and Ramses, who end up getting engaged. That was cute. And then we cut back to Brittany and Leo and the reveal. And Brittany, baby, I have never seen somebody more put off than that reveal. Like, she was giving Belle when the beast turned back into a human. Baby, Brittany was not having it, okay? Her whole face, you could tell this girl was trying to be like, I'm on camera, I'm on camera, I'm on camera. I'm on camera, hold it together. Hold it together. Because Leo was smitten all over again. Like, Leo saw her and said, guys, somehow I done snagged a baddie. She looked at him and said, okay, he's rich and he's tall. 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 That's a good man, Savannah. That's a good man, Savannah. That's a good man, Savannah. Because like their whole interaction, like Leo was all over this girl. He could not thank his lucky stars enough that Brittany was who he got with. Brittany not feeling it. Like Leo had his hand on her neck, like trying to kiss her and stuff. Brittany wasn't having it. It was like simple pecks. She could not get away from this man fast enough. She wasn't saying anything. Leo was carrying the conversation. And she was like, when it was finally time for them to go, she was booking it in all the ways, you know, her poise and her class would allow. She was booking it away from that man. She was not impressed. She was not feeling it. She was not feeling it. Ramses and Marissa's reveal, you could tell that they're both attracted to each other for sure. It was just a little awkward, which is understandable because at the end of the day, I mean, these are still technically strangers. So, but it was cute. I thought they were doing a little too much, but that was like, Marissa's always doing a little too much. So I feel like, you know, they balance each other out a little bit, and she's staying true to herself, which I'm not mad at. Then we get to Hannah and Nick's reveal, and quite honestly, Hannah and Brittany, baby, they were sharing more than just an interest in men. They were sharing reactions because Hannah, again, this is why I say you gotta stop giving your partner something to think about in terms of your looks. Because when Nick steps out and Hannah sees that man for the first time, she is also not impressed, because Nick built up this image saying he's better looking than Travis Kelce, he's a kicker and a punter, all this other stuff. And you know, like, he's an athlete, he's so hot, he's told he's hot all the time. So you built this image in your head. Hannah said, oh, and she was a little taller than him in her heels. I could tell immediately that gave her the ick. Immediately. And then Nick was doing some self-deprecating stuff. That was annoying, because I'm like, do you have self-esteem or not? Are you overcompensating for your low self-esteem, or what? Like, what's going on here? And clearly Nick is going to be the type that wants that constant reassurance. Like, his love language is words of affirmation based on what I've seen so far, and Hannah's love language is not that. Like, the way she talks to this man, she was giving him nothing. She was giving him crumbs. He was looking for the whole pie. She could only give him crumbs. And you reap what you sow. So then Garrett and Taylor meet. It was decent. It was a cute little thing, you know. But, oh no, they already met. But I feel like Garrett and Taylor are going to have some drama, because they're two independent people used to doing everything else for everybody. And I feel like those types, you need somebody who's more used to being in like a giving role. Like, I feel like two independent people, it can make or break a relationship. It can go, you know, either way. They could either learn to kind of rely on each other and kind of like step back out of that survival mode, or they could be so used to like the my way or the highway mindset because they haven't really had anybody to challenge them on that they just kind of dissolve and break. So we're gonna see how that goes. And then Alex and Tim, you know how I said famous last words? This is what I mean. Because Alex and Tim, from their relationship, Tim was clearly getting on her nerves in that reveal at the end. But Alex seemed like the type who's used to arguing, and Tim already said that he is not an arguer. So we're gonna see if these two mesh well. I don't know if they will. I don't know if they will. And then we end, I believe we end, or we almost end the episode with, you know, they're now in Cabo. All the engaged couples have made it to Cabo and they're hanging out and everything. And Nick and Hannah are on the beach. And Nick says, you know, Nick says, I'm gonna go ride this duck. Do you want to ride this duck with me? And Hannah's like, no, that's gonna give me the ick. You can do what you want. I'm gonna turn away though because I can't. No, that's weird. I'm not feeling that. And Nick says, well, basically he says, forget you, I'm gonna go have fun. Which, understandable. You know, you are in a brand new place. You're in Cabo. You're not there to, you know, just sit there and suck up the sun. You want to have some fun. You want to do some activities. So that was fair. I give that to him. But what I did not give to him was when he goes and he sits on this duck. There are some women behind him. I only saw like 2 women. I think there were other people, you know, further back. But he turns to, I think she said something to him, but he turns to her and he says, you know, do you want to come ride this duck with me? That's strike one. This lady gets up and you can tell she's used to being, like, you can tell she's also one of those people who are too friendly, too flirty. So she gets up, you know, she sits on the duck. They're talking, whatever. Hannah is looking at that, side-eyeing it, because it's like, what are you doing? But they race. Nick draws a little line in the sand on where they need to race to. The 2 race, right? I think the lady wins. And so both of them, like the lady and Nick gets up. The lady is a little older. I would say she looked like she was maybe in like her 50s or something. But Nick is in his, I think Nick is 28. So the way some of these people be operating, and the way he was operating on that beach, clearly that's not too old. So, you know, Hannah's starting to feel away because, again, Nick is being too friendly and too flirty, and the woman is being friendly and flirty right back. And so Hannah's like, you know, Nick, basically like, hey, chill out with all that, without saying that. And so the lady's like, oh, look at her, she's being so jealous, ha 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 ha. And like she places, you know, her hand on Nick's shoulder, like she's like, you know, that casual, like, well, not casual, but that press you do when you're low-key flirting with a man, where you put your hand on his shoulder and like run it down his arm. That she was doing a lot of that, and Nick was laughing and smiling, hee hee ha ha, right back in her face. And it was disrespectful. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care. Argue with the wall. It was disrespectful because your fiance is literally right there. And you are playing in her face in 4K in real time. And so that's where we leave off. Episodes 4 and 5. And once again, Nick is giving me the ick. I don't know why he proposed to Hannah in the first place, if I'm being honest. But I knew I didn't like them. Especially since, again, Nick is too friendly. Hannah didn't seem to be the person who was okay with that. And now that I'm seeing them in Cabo, that just reaffirms what I thought. That Hannah is not okay with a man who's too friendly. And Nick is too friendly. Nick is too friendly. But that is all I have for you guys today. Again, we're about to see what the rest of these episodes give. Because, child, it's not looking good for anybody, for real. But thank you so much for watching. I will see y'all in the next video. Bye, guys.